before you the police force, O Lord. O Lord, we ask that you continue to cover us, continue to shine that light upon us, continue to be the one that we always call upon and no one else. You are the am that I am. We continually pray unto you for your guidance and for your tender mercies. Look upon us as we continue to show the love that you have shown for us, a love that surpasses understanding. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your mercies. Thank you for your guidance. In your most precious name I pray. Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sergeant Andrew. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister for National Security, Mr. Rayburn Blackmore, the Chief Magistrate, Mrs. Candace Carrett George, Mr. Lincoln Corbett, Chief of Police, Mr. Jefferson James, Acting Deputy Chief of Police, other ranked members, officers, the press, members of the public. Thank you for tuning in. This press conference is one of the ministry's updates that we have promised to bring you throughout the year. We now call on the Honorable Minister to give some opening remarks.
Good morning. Good morning. Let me recognize, firstly, Ms. Lloyd, whose a substantial position is that of Senior Administrative Officer, and she's holding on for the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Joan Commodore, who's currently on well-deserved vacation leave, but we wish her well. And Ms. Lloyd has been in the ministry. Actually, I met her in the ministry the first time I came around, as the minister is still there. She brings with her a wealth of knowledge of the government practices and operations on top of the ministry. And I want to also recognize the Chief Magistrate and the Acting Chief of Police, Mr. Corbett, the Deputy Chief of Police, and I also see this morning the two Assistant Commissioners, namely Mr. Maxime and Anthony Moses. I see other gazetted officers there this morning, and I see Inspector who works at administration, and I also see the head of the community policing unit, and I may have seen earlier on the head of general. Is it me? Yes. All right, and other police officers who are here, members of the media fraternity. Good morning to all. This morning, as you heard from Ms. Lloyd, is another exercise by the ministry to apprise the public of the operations within the ministry on behalf of the people of this country. The Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs is mandated to execute the policy direction of the government. And we, as a people, have witnessed the demonstration and manifestation of projects by this administration that are geared towards adding value to the base of society by way of paving the way for sustainable economic development. But there are a number of things by way of service delivery. They are not as big and tangible as you see insofar as the construction of the international airport is, the construction of the marina in Portsmouth, the construction of, that is nearing completion, of the geothermal project, and a number of other significant infrastructural projects. And these things are very important to transform our social and economic landscape. But there are legal things that are also very important to ensure that people can conduct their daily activities and the realities of their daily lives can be so cared for by government that is mandated to serve the people. So there are a number of things really that we can do or to renew a driver's license. Over the years, the ministry has been involved in discussion with the line ministries with the view to actually decentralizing the issuance of driver's license in the first instance. In Marigot, in Portsmouth, firstly, and then Marigot. I want to take this opportunity to recognize the effort of the Permanent Secretary and Ms. Antonia Moses and the Chief of Police for grabbing the bull by its horn. And too often we talk about why things cannot happen. But we have a responsibility, and my responsibility as entrusted by the Prime Minister to be minister within that ministry is to ensure that every head of department, with no exception, does not only fall in for work, but work. And for the actual issuance of driver's license, we have been able, working with line ministries, to actually identify and to retrofit. And I want to take this opportunity to actually express my gratitude for ensuring for the Prime Minister and the entire cabinet was actually warm towards the whole idea, for ensuring that the request for the money, I think it's cost the equipment $112,000, was made available, and the ministry made provision for that in its provision in this year's financial cycle. And then, as we speak, the Chief of Police, I want to add, who is the sole authority on the vehicle and road and traffic. And if you were to go to section 4.1, you'll see that the Commissioner of Police is the licensing authority to issue licenses, or you can call it driver's permits, vehicle licenses, etc. If you were to go down under section 4, subsection 2, he can appoint inspectors or licensing officers. The Chief of Police is that authority. That has got to be fundamentally clear. So, in that regard, therefore, the ministry is proceeding to launch this program. And in the first week of January 2026, we shall commence the issuance of driver's licensing in Portsmouth in the same fashion as obtained in Roseau. No more delays. It has been brought to my attention. I know the equipment has been installed, that the laminator has been missing. You cannot print the driver's license without laminators. I've asked the Commissioner of Police to conduct an inquiry. We want our laminator. In the meantime, we have proceeded to order 2 more laminators, along with additional equipment. And the additional equipment will be installed in Marigot to ensure that driver's licenses can be issued in Marigot. Already, you can do your inspections in Portsmouth, etc. But we're moving forward to ensure that driver's licenses can be actually issued in Portsmouth. These are little things, because these are nuisances actually for people and government. You see, so the mantra of the Labour Party administration, and I want to make that fundamentally clear. We perceive that the government understand government as being a vehicle, and you, the people, are the drivers of that vehicle. And a vehicle has to work for you. And government, therefore, has to work for the people. And the Ministry of National Security, the various departments that are responsible for discharging services to the people of this country, have to work for the people of this country. So I'm happy about that. And as we speak, the Chief of Police is doing the background check on the personnel who will be responsible to assist with the printing and the taking of the pictures and the printing of the driver's license. And of course, you have the sub-treasury upstairs. People will be able to go upstairs and to pay for their licenses, etc., and to stop this nuisance of having to come to Roseau to get a driver's license. And in the second half, or the first quarter, of next year, we'll be moving up to Marigot. Further, insofar as it relates to vital life certificates. And what do I mean by vital life certificates? death certificates, birth certificate, marriage certificates. Why people have to come from Toronto to come to Roseau just to pick up a birth certificate? So we have started doing the process of the groundwork, to move towards decentralizing the issuance of birth certificate, death certificate, marriage certificates, and the list goes on in the various localities. Portsmouth, Marigot, Cassibruce, La Plaine, Granby, those are the areas we're looking at in the first instance, and to ensure that those vital life certificates can be issued in the various localities. The logistics have been looked at, and to ensure that that can be done. I've already actually engaged the Registrar General in that regard, and this is something that the ministry have been actually approaching for a while. But the talk is over, and we have to start doing what we have to do. And if it means that the ministry has to do it by itself, the ministry will proceed to do it by itself. But we have to move on and let the ministry work for the people of this country. I want to take this opportunity also to actually compliment the Chief Magistrate and the staff for the work they have done so far. Fundamental to the whole approach of the government is the whole issue of the need of improving on the administration of justice. And we believe a more efficient system within the court system is the first step towards realizing that, especially when you take into consideration that most of the matters are disposed at the magistrate court level. And we have to ensure that we have systems put in place to make the process or the administration of the court more efficient. We had a meeting, of course, with the Bar Association not too long ago, and they raised some concern and made some suggestions. And some of the suggestions, quite frankly, were good suggestions as to how we could actually perfect the operation of the High Court. And one of it made reference to the need for additional magistrate. And I want to let the public know that we have since then appointed an additional magistrate. Our Chief Magistrate has been fully appointed. Is that so? Yes. Fully appointed. And she will be serving also as a case manager. She will be sitting, but as a case manager, to ensure that the issue of schedulings can be properly done. The question as to the need to actually resolve issues and not having to have a detailed and protracted hearing, but by way of strata hearing. Those things can be arranged and to make the system more efficient. So the government is doing what it's supposed to do in that regard. And so we have a number of magistrates who have been appointed, and the intention is to appoint an additional magistrate in due course. So we're keeping our promise and to ensure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. One of the other issues that was discussed and explored as to how do we make the magistrate court more efficient, and is issue as to how you record matters at the magistrate court, how you take notes. And sometimes people write faster than others. People hear better than others. Some people, especially at night, you have to repeat for them several times. And that in itself can cause a nuisance. So one of the things was as to how do we therefore introduce a system at the magistrate court similar to what obtains at the Supreme Court level by way of electronic recording. And you can have instantaneous playbacks. I want to let you know that we have been able, through the instrumentality of the United Nations Development Program, a project they call Peace Justice, and working, of course, in conjunction with the chambers of the Attorney General, we have been able to source the equipment. And the equipment, as we speak, Chief Magistrate is on island, or the pieces of equipment on an island, and we're waiting the personnel to install this equipment at least for the 2 criminal courts in Roseau. And it also includes the training of personnel. And we're looking at this actually equipment being fully installed in the month of February of next year. So where we'll be able to have electronic recording at the magistrate court and no more writing and what did you say, spell your name? spell your name, you understand? And how do you spell Tran2 on this, you know? No problem. So that is progress. And these are the things, they might sound simple, but they're also very relevant. And I am happy that we're moving in that direction. The chief magistrate is there, and she'll speak to that. We'll go into detail in terms as to how the High Court have been moving on. And then we have to make some improvement in the area of servicing, because the bailiff, they've been paid mileage. The bailiffs have been paid mileage, and the bailiff have to go out when they had this matter against sitting ministers and the Prime Minister. What do you call treating? We were served in quick time. Understand? We were served in quick time. I never gave anybody anything to vote for me in my life. Do you get my point? But it's okay. They served us in quick time. Why are you not serving people? And we're also looking at the issue as to the tickets that have been issued. In some countries, you have a situation when you get a ticket, you get a ticket for speeding. You either go and pay the ticket. And if you don't want to pay the ticket, you move the court. You move the court. Why do you have to be summoned to come back to court? You move the court. If you don't want to pay the ticket, you should go and move the court. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to move into that direction to look at the ticketing system, because it's a waste of police time. And spend a whole day sitting to have a matter heard for a speeding ticket. No speeding, failing to stop on a stop sign, stopping on a clip. So you see, clip clear. This guy's at it. What are you doing on it? You know. So these are stuff that we have to put in place to address some of the nuisances and to make the government system and the arms of government more efficient and to stop wasting time. I want to also make reference to the fire and ambulance services. And you have heard a lot about ambulances. We have 7 health districts in the country. I want to also say, before the worst pandemic in the history of man, COVID-19, we had 14 ambulances. 14. Let us get it very clear. We had 14 ambulances. And because it is the plan of the ministry and the government in the high intensity areas in terms of population, the Roseau catchment area, that's where the bulk of the population is, 45,000 people. And it starts from Jimmy to go south. And to have more than one ambulance, the same in Portsmouth and in Marigot. But with COVID-19, you had a number of issues, and because of the stress that was brought to bear on those vehicles, some of them fell through. So as we speak, we are procuring 2 additional ambulances, modern ambulances, if everything you can think about. And approval has been given to that already, and we are expecting those ambulances to be there in the first part of the new year. And to ensure that Roseau has 2 ambulances at all time, and to ensure that all the health districts have ambulances, as we always seek to do. In terms of the other fire appliances, namely fire trucks, from the 15th of this month, 2 additional fire trucks will be actually be shipped to Dominica. They have been paid for already from England. And hear the thing. And those trucks will come all fitted with modernized equipment. And one of the issues that we have been talking about in terms of having foam generators on the trucks, and also having extension ladders to up to about 45 to 40 feet, and also ensure that we have proper quarters affixed to the truck, so that in the event where people are trapped in difficult areas, especially when it relates to when you have vehicular accidents, the people can be extricated with those quarters that will be attached to those trucks when they arrive in Dominica. It takes 40 days to get to Dominica from the date I just made reference to, on the 15th of this month, not January. So we're making progress, and then I think that's important to let the public know, because there has been so much hoopla being made about what the government is doing. When the trucks arrive, one will be stationed in Roseau, and one will be sent to Portsmouth. And one truck in Roseau, will be relocated to St. Joseph, because we have to have greater capacity in St. Joseph. As we speak, we also have the manufacturing process of a new fire truck being done. The truck is almost finished. What they do now is to put in the compartments for the appliances, and so that we're hoping that the truck will be completed in the month of February of next year, and then shipped to Dominica. And the expectation, therefore, is to have it in the month of June, July. And I've been advised that we can get it sooner. But that's the time horizon, for want of a better word, that we're looking at insofar as that additional fire trucks we're talking about. We also have a promise being made by a friendly country for another new fire truck. So things of full instrumentality again of the Prime Minister, and of course working in concert also the Ministry of Tourism. Also, when she goes out, the minister is of course advocating on behalf of the fire department. So we are very, very much focused on all the things that we have to do within the ministry, and to ensure that we the people of Dominica are better served. I also want to commend the police, and as you know, the police is ongoing and steadfast in its attempt to rid the street of illegal firearms. And I see Mr. Maxime there, the Assistant Commissioner for Operation, and everybody who has been involved in the process working. And for the past week or two, they have recovered, I think, 12 firearms. People have been arrested and dealt with by the court. And I think we have to just continue ensuring that the pressure is not released from those guys who are involved in trying to take our peace and joy away from us, etc. And we have to continue to intensify our efforts, the police force, in making community policing program a national effort where everybody can buy into that process. So these are some of the things I wanted to make reference to this morning, and I'll just yield to the Chief of Police, and to say further, and I may not have the next time to do that, to wish everyone a happy Christmas, and and let us continue to embrace peace and love. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We now invite the Chief Magistrate to give the presentation.
A pleasant good morning to everyone here. Let me recognize persons at the head table. Miss Floyd, or Acting PS, Mr. Blackmore, Minister of National Security, our Chief of Police, and our Deputy Chief of Police. Other members of the rank and force of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, and the members of the press, the media that are here this morning. Good morning, everybody. A brief insight into the progress of the Night Court, the appointment of new magistrates, and the increased sittings of the Inquest Court. Implementation and progress of Night Court sittings. In September of 2025, Night Court sittings were reintroduced for the Magistrates Court in Dominica. The Night Court was established to enhance the access to justice, further enhancing judicial capacity and reducing long-standing case backlogs. The Night Court is scheduled to operate from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Due to the assigned magistrate having pending pattern criminal court matters, he deals with these matters from 1 to 5, and then the new matters begin from 5 p.m. The initial rollout of the night court encountered several challenges, inclusive of timely service of documents by both the police and bailiffs, which affected hearing readiness. There were also expressed concerns as to the ability of persons to attend court during the extended hours. Considerations were therefore given to the location of the litigants and the availability and reliability of transportation to and from Roseau. In that regard, matters were listed for litigants who were from areas where there is a reliable nightly bus service. Despite these initial areas of concern, which have in essence been addressed, the overall attendance has steadily increased and is expected to continue to improve as the night court sittings continue. The night court began with a focus primarily on civil matters, a number of which were resolved through ex parte hearings and in-person trials. Due to the prison's set hours for intake, it is not feasible to conduct criminal trials for persons who are in custody. However, we expect to see an expansion of the listings for the night court to include the hearing of criminal matters for persons who are out on bail, as well as private criminal matters. The following data summarizes night court activity to date. In September of 2025, 20 matters were completed at the night court, although we did not start at the beginning of the month. During the period October 1st to 13th, 28 matters were completed. The reason why we only sat in the night court from the 1st to the 13th was because the magistrate that presides over the night court was on vacation from the 14th to the end of the month. So although a lesser period, more matters were disposed of. From November 1st to December 9th, 2025, 38 matters have been completed at the night court. Several additional matters or hearings are listed for hearing before the night court and are expected to be completed prior to the court's break from December 22nd, 2025 to January 2nd, 2026. Overall, the number of matters being disposed of is expected to continue increasing, contributing significantly to the reduction of the case backlog. Appointment of new magistrates. 2 new magistrates were sworn in, further strengthening the judicial capacity. Miss Marie-Louise Pierre-Louis took her oath of office in September of 2025, and Miss Pelissa Morvan was sworn in at the end of November 2025. More recently, as a matter of fact, this week, another magistrate has been appointed and will soon take her oath. The addition of these magistrates is a major step towards improving efficiency and case management. Case management hearings will be introduced in the new year, January 2026. These hearings will ascertain the readiness of a matter to allow for effective scheduling and assignment of a trial date. It will assess the level of risk of the matters, particularly the private criminal matters, and for persons who are out on bail, which would indicate its suitability for hearing during night court. It is expected that this will result in the enhancement of judicial efficiency through the reduction of wasted judicial time by ensuring that matters, once listed for hearing, are ready and will proceed as scheduled without needing adjournments. Expansion of the sitting of the inquest court. The coroner's court currently convenes 3 times per week, that is on Mondays, on Wednesdays, and on Thursdays. It is the intention to establish a dedicated courtroom for inquests so as to facilitate daily sittings Mondays to Fridays. This is in an attempt to accelerate the completion of inquests and facilitate quicker disposition of these matters. Okay, so really right now, we always had the courtrooms from the time we moved over to occupy the entire building at Bayfront, but we did not have the sufficient manpower or human resource to deal with it. But now with a full complement of magistrates, I'm pleased to say we have a full complement of magistrates. Yes. I'm pleased to say we now have a full complement of magistrates. We are able to occupy every courtroom. Yes. All right. So now all 6 courtrooms in Roseville will be in use. So we are really reaching out to the police because we need to partner with them to ensure that the courts function efficiently. We need criers, we need prosecutors, and so on, increased, because now every courtroom will be functioning 5 days a week. The minister alluded to this one, so just want to touch on it briefly, the Liberty Recording System. Under the Pace Justice Project, 2 digital Liberty Recording systems were received. The systems are at the court with us, and preparations are being made for the installation or for their installation. The systems, once installed, will record the court's proceedings verbatim as individual speakers are captured over specific channels. The court clerk will also be able to insert bookmarks into the recording, which will serve as reference points that the judicial officer can quickly access to playback testimony of any witness whenever the need may arise to clarify any area of contention. Additionally, the system's AI technology feature has the capability to generate uncertified transcripts. Installation will be done hopefully in January of 2026, when the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court's personnel will be present on island. A training calendar is being developed to cater for the training of the court staff in the use of the Liberty system and the general recording. It is therefore anticipated that the system will be brought on stream fully by the end of the first quarter of 2026. As the public and attorneys continue to embrace the night court, and with the onboarding of new magistrates, it is anticipated that the initiative will integrate seamlessly into the wider system. Its implementation marks an important development in the delivery of justice and also addresses delays in case disposal. While there were initial challenges with the night court, as with any new initiative, ongoing improvements, including the introduction of case management hearings, will enhance overall efficiency and support continued progress towards reducing case backlog. I wish to thank the Honorable Minister and the government for their continued support for court initiatives, which ensures that access to justice is not only innovative, but provides a modernized and enhanced experience for all citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Judge, for your comprehensive updates. We now call on the Acting Chief of Police, Mr. Lincoln Cobbett, to give his remarks.
Good afternoon. The Honorable Reuben Blackmore, Minister for National Security and Legal Affairs, Chief Magistrate Kenya George, SAO Lloyd, I already say acting PS. Let's see what happens. Deputy Chief of Police, Mr. James, ACPs James and Moses, Superintendent John, ACP Maxime and Moses, Superintendent John Wiss, other gazetted officers, other rank and file of the police force, Staff Officer Theodore, the media, members of the public, good afternoon. My job has been made a bit easier since the minister went before me, and he would have intimated on some of the ideas I want to touch on. One being the issue of the decentralization of driver licenses. For a while now, we've been issuing driver licenses in the town of Portsmouth, except to issue the card, meaning that we were doing the testing of drivers, So you could have applied in Roseau for a learner's license, and you'll be tested in Portsmouth. But then you have to go to Roseau to pay all the fees and to get the actual card in your hand. So going forward, very soon, and as the minister said, very unfortunately, the scanner, but the laminator is the only other piece of equipment that we are waiting for. Once this have been procured and have been in place, we will see the full implementation of issuing of driver license in Portsmouth. It means, therefore, you do your test, as I said, pay for your learner's license in Portsmouth, and pay for your driver's license up to Class C in Portsmouth, and you'll be issued with your card just as in Roseau. In addition to driver's license, we have also been testing and inspecting motor vehicles in Portsmouth, also Marigot. So because we have licensing officers throughout the two areas, in Portsmouth and in Marigot, where motor vehicles can be examined and inspected for licenses. So you do not need to come all the way to Roseau to have this done, and that has been happening for a while. But again, we're very pleased and very thankful that the minister, I know he's been pushing for this for a while, for a long while, to see that come to realization. Yes, Mr. Minister, we will ensure, on our side, the police side, that everything is done to ensure that the licenses are issued in Portsmouth. And as soon as Marigot is ready, issue Marigot. And I think, you didn't mention it, but I think we should go down east too. We should go down Clap Lane to issue driver's licenses. But that's just their purview. I'm from Lappin, so I push the queue there. But so under Section 4, as the minister intimated, the Chief of Police is the licensing authority, and will ensure, as I said, that all is done in our power to ensure licenses are issued in these areas. So again, the hardware have been installed in Portsmouth, and it's my understanding that we have also put in a bid or purchase of equipment for Marigot. So very, very soon in the new year, both of these areas will be functioning, as in Roseau. On the issue of the actions of the police for the year, I would have apprised you of some of the activities that the police conducted, some of the achievements. And to date, we can report this year that under the powers vested in the minister, the Firearms Task Force have been established. And we're working very quietly, but effectively. Maybe too quiet, but effectively. In that, from the time the unit have been established for the past about a month, we've been able to recover 12 firearms. 12 firearms. It's not easy to recover one firearm. Most of to recover 12 firearms. And some of those firearms are very high-powered firearms. In one case, we recovered about 5 rifles. And as I speak to you today, an individual has been brought to court with sentence for the possession of 4 firearms, including a submachine gun, Uzi submachine gun, 3 pistols, and a shotgun. All of them being unlicensed. That is, he's not licensed to carry them. Again, we saw some other individuals, being arrested and charged for weapons. So 12 firearms is a big thing. Again, we're working, it appears we're working very quietly, but I'm saying we're very effective. And we won't relent. I said before, we won't relent. We'll go after the firearms wherever they are. Wherever in the country we think they are, we'll go after them. Because this scourge, we're not used to it. We're not used to this callousness of firearms in Dominica. And we won't relent until such time that we get rid of these firearms. We also saw the establishment of the BIT unit. Again, the minister, the power was vested in him, have impressed upon us that the BIT unit must be established. And we have established the BIT unit, albeit I do believe is in terms of the manpower, we could have more men. But very soon we should have another quarter of officers being trained. But the BIT unit is established, and it's not going nowhere, meaning that it's there to stay. It's there to stay. And we would have seen some of the benefits of the unit so far. Again, in terms of reports in Roseau, significant reduction in reports to the police. Burglaries, way down. Issues of vagrancy, way down. Theft, way down in the city of Roseau. So again, the beat unit is having a very significant effect on that aspect. Yes, they can do more in terms of traffic management and assisting in control of traffic in Roseau. And again, we'll employ on them to do just that. But again, the beat unit, I say, have found a home. It's not going nowhere. Also this year, within the last 3 quarters of the year, we would have seen Operation Clean Streets. And also, as we speak, well, another operation ongoing, Operation Safe DA. Those 2 operations have seen quite a number of firearms, illicit firearms, being removed from the streets of Dominica and into the hands of criminals. Well, again, we'll continue our efforts to ensure that illicit firearms do not find themselves in the hands of criminals. All in an effort to reduce the incidence of violence, crime, and the fear of crime in Dominica. On the question of community policing, I think it speaks for itself. We've done quite a bit of work. And for those of you who have been following our Facebook page, you'll see the work of the police being broadcast on social media. And I must commend the community policing team, albeit small. The intention is to increase the size, but with the 4 men, 5 men, and I say men, I include women also. We have 2 women in that group. They're doing a tremendous job. And hats off to Sergeant Andrew and Corporal Leon Moses and the other members of the team, because you swear that they have a big force, but it's just 4 or 5 of them doing that. And we would have seen an increased activity as it relates to the removal of derelict vehicles in Dominica, and we're not stopping until we remove them. To date, a total of 160 vehicles have been removed island-wide. 160 vehicles have been removed. And again, we would have seen this week, more vehicles have been tagged in the Kings Hill area to be removed. And that's a final warning for those of people who have vehicles in the Kings Hill area. To get, if you need them, take what you have on them quickly, because we will take them and put them where they belong. Again, we know some of the issues with derelict vehicles, out of rodents and vagrants sleeping in them, and the whole issue of crime, and just being unsightly in the community. So we're warning you for the final time, and that's before the Christmas. We'll remove them and take them to where they belong. In terms of community patrols in the communities, we have increased our patrols in the communities. Yes, we can always do more. But again, we've seen an increase in patrols. While I'm on issue of patrols, you will see in the city of Roseau and the town of Portsmouth an increased presence of officers for Christmas. It's customary every year we increase the number of officers in the city and in Portsmouth. You will see that. So in addition to the beat unit and the task force, other officers, you will see more officers the week leading up to Christmas, to ensure that the citizens feel safe and they can go about their business without anybody harassing them or snatching their property from them. In terms of the community patrols, again, farmers patrol in Wesley. Again, community policing, we would have met with the farmers in Wesley, or the community of Wesley, and they identified one of the issues that are pretty lasting, theft of the produce from their farm. And this seems to be bearing some fruits, because we have seen, a reduction in the amount of reports to the police as it relates to the theft of the produce from the farms. And that's ongoing. The school patrols and school visits, school resource officers, as we to term them, that will continue on the community police initiative. We saw it was a bit heightened again during Police Week. We'll continue. So we've seen a lot of that this year. Again, we're not relenting, because we need to get to them when they're very young, to ensure that they turn away from crime or don't get involved in crime. This mentorship program, we started this year. Again, we will ramp it up next year. So we'll see more officers coming to you, mentoring the young people. So we've done some work in Bath Estate, in the Silver Lake area, and at the Dominica State College. While I'm on the Silver Lake area, we should have a very special activity for the 19th, is it? For the 17th, Wednesday the 17th of this week, next week, sorry, where the community policing unit will meet to sort of bring some Christmas cheer to the people of mostly the children of Silver Lake. And we're not afraid to go to Silver Lake. And before it was difficult, but now we seem to see a change, big shift, not just a big shift in terms of how the police is being viewed when it comes to Silver Lake. Again, all that is being done to move them, drive them away from the issue of crime and violence. So we have also seen a very special initiative by police officers living in communities. And I pause because you say I give Mr. Maximus much praise. But so be it. It started in Campbell, the Campbell Police Officers Initiative, under the same umbrella of community policing. So the idea here, officers who live within communities, who are from the communities, they'll come together and form a small group, again, to mentor young kids. And two Sundays ago, there was a very nice activity happening in Campbell, and the attendance was overwhelming. So, stemming out of that, of Campbell Police Initiative, we have established, or in the way of establishing, one in Penville, one in Bellevue Chopin, Page 7. Again, Dion Moses, being on community policing, is spearheading that. We also have this morning a discussion with the officers from Atkinson to do a similar group. 4 groups within the past month or 2 have been set up. And the idea is to get officers living within those communities, or you're from the community, to come together again to assist young people, to move them away from crime, and give them some real positive, good role models. We've seen also this year that all police stations have been equipped with a motor vehicle. In some cases, more than one motor vehicle. That, to me, is a big thing, a big deal. So we got this year. For this year, we got 9 motor vehicles. 3 Mitsubishis. Was it last year or this year? Last year, we're very late last year then. So within a year, we got 6 motor vehicles. But for this year, we got 6 brand new Toyota 4-wheel pickups. And it's been whispered that more to come. But the more to come is not, they're needed because our fleet is aging, and we need, and we've been struggling, honestly, holding some of them motor vehicles are in excess of 12, 13 years, and we've been holding on to them, we've been fixing them, but they're aging. So the more that's coming is better, and holding a motor vehicle in the police for 10 years. I just somebody whisper something in the crowd. And when you look at the mileage on that, 500,000 miles, 500,000 miles, 300,000 miles. I would say more. The average person do not burn or bring up to 200,000 miles on the motor vehicle, and they keep it for 10, 12, 13 years or more. In legal time, the mileage on those vehicles are up, and they're not ill-treating them, they're using them to do the work of the state. We also saw the successful hosting or policing, that is, of major events. Carnival 2025, Jazz and Creole, the World Creole Music Festival, and we also saw Independence 2025. No other place has carnival like Dominica. No other place. No other place can fit like Dominica. And I'm saying this just to bring the point home. That with all this fetting and all this good time, no reports, 0 reports, none of violence, none. For a festival in excess of 40-something thousand people for the free nights. Paid patrons. So we could almost say we had 50,000 people on free nights. Zero violence, none. And anywhere we suspected something happened, the police was right there to take care of it. Carnival, the way we celebrate Carnival. I'm going to use the term, but I'll pull it back. Just come in and jump. Zero. Even for Independence Carnival, officers were over there again, and we caught somebody in the band with a firearm, breaching the wrong, wrong the bridge, sorry. And the court, I think, dealt with him quite nicely, and where he belongs. So again, we've had some very successful, I said, successful events for the year. And to crown it off, Police Week 2025. I can't stop talking about Police Week 2025. From the church service to the last event, the award ceremony, everything went on well, and we're very thankful, very, very thankful for the officers who would make it happen. So as I indicated before, we have done quite a bit of operations for the year, and just to give you a breakdown of what we did in terms of our operations. Vehicle checkpoints on the Operation Safe Street. We did 75 VCPs, meaning we stop you and search you on suspicion. We suspect that you may have something, we check you. On the Operation Safe DA, that's ongoing, we've done 27. And just our routine stop and search, 43. So we've done in excess of 150 for the year, this year. In terms of house searches, just to move a bit quicker, we've done about 148 house searches throughout the island. And again, you would have heard some of the successes from those searches. And we arrested 37 people. Similar of this, 37 people have been arrested from those two operations. We've seized so far for the year 84 firearms. 84 firearms, including firearms that were brought in through the customs illegally. 84. And I'm suspecting the numbers will increase. But I'm not saying anything yet. It will increase. Before the end of the year, the numbers will increase. Okay, I know what I know. But 84 firearms have been removed from the streets of Dominica, from the hands of criminals. Again, I say, removing firearms, getting firearms, that's a big thing. Because it's not easy to get firearms. It's not easy. It's not like buying bread. It's not easy. So 84 firearms, including high-powered firearms, rifles, submachine guns, and high-powered pistols have been recovered. And for the year, so far, we have removed from the streets of Dominica 1,310 rounds of ammunition. In terms of cash seizures, we've seized in excess of $84,000 EC for the year. And in terms of drugs, but cocaine, primarily cocaine, we've seized in excess of 1,332 kilos of cocaine. 1,732 kilos of cocaine. 1,732 kilos of cocaine. And for those of you who have been following us closely, we had a big burn about 2 weeks ago. And all of that would have gone up in smoke. All of it and some more would have gone up in smoke at the Monrose compound. I heard the minister spoke about it. People talking about we burning flour. But he invited them to come and test it, but nobody came to test it to see if it was flour. So in relation to crime, we continue to investigate, as I said, and we continue to see a decrease in the issue of crime and the incident of crime. So for year to date, between 24 and 25, kidnappings, we have seen a 67% reduction. Burglaries, 29% reduction. Armed robbery, 16% reduction. Sexual assault, 44% reduction. And theft, 33% reduction. The only troubling statistics for us there is the issue of the use of firearms to commit crime. That again, I say that's our main objective now, is to go after those criminals who are carrying those weapons. So this is the only troubling statistic. And it appears to be the same right for the Caribbean. That's the only troubling statistic for us. But we are committed, as I said, to going after them, to ensuring that we can get rid of these firearms. So in closing, I wish to express my gratitude to all our partners, locally and internationally. And we pledge our commitment to you to continue working alongside with you. And we have some very good partners in the region, RSS, Impacts, among others. So we keep working alongside you to ensure that we tackle this issue of crime. And also, I say, issue of crime with the use of firearms. But all this work would have been possible without the assistance of the rank and file of the police force. The officers work tirelessly, with dedication, enthusiasm, for a lot of effort throughout the year to ensure that the citizens of Dominica could feel safe. And it's a huge undertaking. That's why not anybody can be a police. It is a huge undertaking. While citizens sleep, you're out there walking, ensuring that they're safe. While they're out there, you're out there kicking down doors, knocking on doors, removing firearms from the streets, going after the bad guys. While you're out there sleeping, the officers from the Coast Guard are out there braving the seas. And in particular, the Coast Guard. It's not easy to work on Coast Guard. For those of you all who know, the sea, the rules of the sea have been written every day. Every day it's been written. So when you leave today, you're not sure what rules, what are you going to face. So the officers of the Coast Guard, I must single them out because it's very critical that what they're doing. So I wish to, I say, thank all the officers, all of them, from the deputy all the way down to the last special constable, for the efforts that they did through the year. And I call upon them again to recommit themselves for 2026 to ensure that we have another successful year. Again, to ensure that the public can feel safe. Safe. You can feel that you can go out about your business without having to look over your shoulders. That's our goal, to ensure that people feel safe in Dominica. I wish all a very safe and spiritful Christmas 2026, sorry. 2025, Christmas 2025, and a productive year 2026. I'm jumping the year, by a whole year. But just before I close, to round it up, to top it up, we invited members of the public to a night of caroling at headquarters on the 19th of December at 7 p.m. And we expect it to be a very nice family event under the patronage of Her Excellency, the President. She's consented to do that, to host it. And for those of you who all know how the police like to, I won't say party, but to have a good time, expect nothing less. But this one, it will be a different setting. So we'll have on this night the Music Lovers Government Band. We have also Cicero singers. And we also have Otto Atkinson, Band Akayo. For those of you who like Sewina, so we've invited Band Akayo of Atkinson to accompany us. And I know the following day, the Sewina Festival starts in Atkinson and Salibi area. So we intend to have a very good night of singing, of caroling. And again, I say it would be a family event. And we invite all those who can to come and celebrate with us. And we'll have officers singing, we'll have an open mic. It'll just be a night of fun. And I suspect we may also have the Galba Boys, I suspect. And for those of you all who look at the Galba Boys, they can have a good time. Okay? So thank you very much. And I wish all very productive 2026. And as I said before, a very good Christmas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Corbett. We are now accepting questions from the press.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. My question is for the chief acting. You have outlined some success stories for the police for 2025, and obviously they sound very impressive. Can you speak to homicides for the year 2025? And can you give us, in terms of the street value for the drugs seized in 2025? You mentioned cocaine, marijuana, and so on. What about a street value for the drug seized in 2025?
Okay, good morning again. Good afternoon. Well, afternoon again. As I indicated, Mr. Matthew, is one of the records that we're not very pleased about. So for the year, we've had 20 homicides, 20. And it's much too much. Too many homicides. One is too much for 20. In terms of drugs, as we indicated during the Big Bird, the minister would have addressed it also. It's about $46 million, or $46 million what was seized. But easy. But we destroyed in excess of $53 million at Mount Bruce on the Big Bird.
You would stay here, sir. I'm coming. I have a few things on my list. I'm a little concerned with something in the Lalikoko area. Recently, we've seen within a week some serious accidents. I do not know if it is as a result of this hotel there that maybe causing in terms of people driving and moving. Will the police be looking at the area in terms of attempting to maybe put some signs or something in place, or speed bumps or something, because it seems to be becoming a bit dangerous, more dangerous than we think. Also, we have these nuisances of the bikes. Even in my village, it's becoming unbearable. The bikers on license, and they can be hearing me now, the things that they are doing, they overtake you on any side of the road, and they really do not care. What is the police doing, and what does the police intend to do to curb that? I have a next one as it relates to the days off at police stations. I'm getting the impression that there are sometimes one police officer at the police station, and sometimes the police officer is there for about 5 days because of lack of men, if you want to put it that way. Is that a concern to you? And
I'm not writing, eh?
You're not writing.
No, so,
but just
so let me answer the first three questions.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget.
Good.
So the issue of Lalikoko, we must be very careful that we do not try to ascribe what's happening now to the hotel.
No, I'm not.
No, please, hold on. I listened to your question. You said you're not sure it's because of the hotel. You mentioned you're not sure because of the hotel. But you need to develop.
But I'm not ascribing it.
Yes, well, hold on. But you not even mentioned it. The reason I'm saying this, I've been in the force for a while. Quite a while. And long before that hotels built, Oasis hotels built, we've had homicides. Double homicides. I know this matter. I don't remember Apache. He used to live on River Street. He was knocked down with his girlfriend, and both of them died on the spot. Double fatality by a Nissan Pathfinder. I remember that matter vividly. It was about 15 to 20 years ago. The young lady's mother was from Fonkole. I saw on TV recently accepting a house. And before that, many other homicides, many other fatalities happened there. Okay? But just to address the issue of that area, I have approved a request for speed humps and signage in the area prior to this incident, and the developer himself also wrote prior to the hotel being open because he realized what's happening in the area. And for whatever reason, for the drivers seem to think they go through Newtown under pressure, and here it is, let me burst out like a chicken out of a cage. Coming from Libya, same thing. But this has been happening for a while, and we're hoping when the speed humps are installed, we will see a reduction or wiping out completely of the fatalities in that area. I don't call them accidents, fatalities. Okay, what was the second question again?
My second question, the bikers.
The motorcycles, yes. If you go to Monbrose, Calais now, we have like a graveyard for motorcycles at Monbrose, a graveyard. And we're taking them off the streets every day. Every day. Prior to Police Week, if you come to headquarters, you would have seen about 50 motorcycles there. We've removed all of them to Monbrose. And if you look again, I'm saying about 3 or 4 within the past week. So we're doing that. We're taking them off the streets. So yes, we'll deal with them. On the issue of residences, one man at the police station, I can't speak much to that. I don't want to give out the police business. But every station, as I speak now, is manned with enough men to have more than one person at the station at any one time. And the system is such that if you, for whatever reason, have only one man in the station, you have a sister station. For example, you're from permission, if you have permission, they can call Grand Bay Station for assistance. If it happens in Soufriere, they can call Soufriere, can call Grand Bay upon Michel for assistance. So this notion that they one man for 5 years by himself, that should never happen because there's support.
Okay, the next question that I...
You're the third question?
Yes.
Fourth question, okay.
You spoke about police vehicles, and I'm quite happy that, of course, different areas have police vehicles. But what I have been seeing, and you spoke highly of the conditions of the vehicle, and I whispered that they must not misuse the police vehicles. So this is what has been happening. I have witnessed police officers using police vehicles to do their private thing, carrying cement, etc. This is one of the things that I expect the police to keep speaking out about. And I've heard the minister speaking out about those things. You at the head, this is one of the things I'm bringing out, so they can get that message and not misuse the police vehicle for their private stuff.
I'm not sure how to answer that question, Mr. John Baptist, but thank you very much for your question. Thank you.
Sorry, I want you to also give some added currency to what the Chief of Police has just said in relation to a question posed to the great Carla, my good friend. Let us start firstly with the bikers. And the issue with the bikers are not only characteristic or unique to Dominica. It's a regional thing, an international thing. Whereas I accept that police has to do better in terms of the enforcement of the traffic laws, we have to be careful that we do not adopt a posture or culture of victimization, where we seek to victimize a particular user of the road, namely a biker. We have to be very, very careful with that. I want to say further, we have to look at these things from a broader, a more holistic standpoint as to how the country has emerged and grown over the years in the developments we're talking about. We have on the road vehicular traffic, 45,000 and 31 vehicles on the road. I saw a message a while ago somebody sent and said the need for greater safety on the road as we traverse to the Christmas season. And you talk about safety, eh? Out of the 45,031 vehicles on the street, 42,711 are licensed. All right? I believe also that the people who are driving unlicensed and uninsured vehicles pose a more serious risk than some of the bikers who are doing some stunts, etc. And I believe, therefore, there has to be a plan and a strategy to deal with the people who are driving on the street with unlicensed and uninsured vehicles. We are good at maths. If you were to do the rough calculation, 45,031 and the minus 42,711, you get something like 2,320. So 2,320, those are also the calculus maths, so very good at these things there. Okay, these are quite a large number of people. Now, out of the 45,041 vehicles on the road, you have 2,107 bikes. So it's a major challenge, yeah? So we have to internalize and analyze that information and come up with a plan. So a lot of us speak. And so I know the police have been working and collecting quite a few from those who have not licensed the vehicles. We had, of course, in place a task force to call people, something similar to what obtains at I think DOASCO is very good at that, to remind you that the driver's license, your water bill is due. I believe we are working on an approach whereby you have people specifically assigned to remind people that by next week, my insurance company is good at that. By next week or next month, your license will be expired. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those are some of the approaches I think we have to talk about in an intelligent way. And so far as it relates to Lale Coco, and it speaks to the broader need for a more comprehensive approach to address the issue of road safety. Driving without due care and attention. I'm not the one who really actually embraces the idea of speed bumps. I believe as we develop, unless it is absolutely necessary by a school or by a hospital, the issue of speed bumps to me can have more demerits than merits. Especially when it takes into consideration, I made reference to this, the population actually starts, really and truly, the concentration is from Jimmy to further south. We have 45,000 people, including Point Michel area. In the morning time, to get to work on time, you have to leave if you live in at Castle Comfort, 6:45 in the morning. It speaks to, can you imagine what 2 speed bumps, especially if you have 2 tourist boats in port, going to do in terms of creating a nuisance? See, so what I believe we need to do, and we're working towards that, is to have better enforcement, better safety infrastructure. So we're talking about looking at specific and specialized traffic signs. Okay, you're approaching a school, you see a particular color. You understand? The installation of proper speed limits. The installation on police vehicles radar system. The installation of cameras, as we're about to do in the Rosa catchment areas in certain parts in the country, including going down by Larry Bridge, to have cameras. And you have a radar system, and you have a speed limits, and a man speeding, you get a ticket. So, the enforcement of seat belts. The law is clear. There's no ambiguous legal language in the law. I think it's under section 70 of the road ordinances, I think. Right? 270, I think. No, to wear your seatbelt. Unless there are reasons why you should not wear a seatbelt. You're too big. No seatbelt can fit you. You have a medical certification. Because of the work that you do, you have to come in and off of the vehicle very regularly. So there's an exception made in law. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us not read the law, you know. Understand? So a lot of things have to do with lack of enforcement because the laws are there. Now, you have situations where you have bicycles and stuff like that, and you have two people on the bicycle. That's against the law. You understand? Driving or riding abreast, unless you're overtaking, it's an offense. If you're driving a motorcycle and you hold on to another vehicle side by side, that's an offense. Did you get my point? So it's just like people, you have trucks spilling stuff on the road. On the section 82, I think, of the traffic ordinances, it's an offense. You can go to jail for that. You have to pick it up when you spill. If you don't, the police can charge you. So a lot of stuff has to have to do with lack of enforcement and having in place proper infrastructure, which we are seeking to do. Driving under the influence of alcohol. There's nothing that prevents a police officer from taking a man to the closest lab or the hospital or some of the police station to test his breath or take a sample of his blood for drunk driving. So we're working now to make it easier to get proper equipment for breathalyzer tests. Okay? Can be done and the guys can be trained. But these are things that we have to put in place. So how many speed bumps are you going to put on the road from La Point to Roseau? So just speed bumps is a quick and sometimes a knee-jerk approach to doing things. But it has to come with proper planning, and that's what we're seeking to do. Okay? And I think I wanted to just put that into perspective. Yeah.
There has been a proposal on the table for improved facilities for the police in Roseau, police headquarters. In terms of building something to upgrade what we have here at the headquarters.
Yeah.
Can you at least tell us where that proposal is and whether there are plans to take that into motion next year?
All right, yeah.
One question for the Chief Magistrate would be the Portsmouth situation. Can you tell us about the status of magistrates in the Portsmouth area and how is that should be done?
Okay. For a matter of fact, we have made a submission to the friendly government and People's Republic of China for the construction with proper accommodation for the police, a proper administrative block, and that for the fire department also in Roseau. So that is on the card. As it pertains to the magistrate for Portsmouth, the Chief Magistrate can speak to, we have just renewed the contract for the magistrate who is sitting in Portsmouth for an additional 3 more years. All right? So I can speak to that also. And to say further, I'm happy that the Chief Magistrate is saying that we have a full complement of magistrates. I do not interfere with the operation of the court, she can talk to you. If I have my concern, the Chief of Police and myself, I will speak and say, blah, blah, blah. But she can never say that I've called her and tried to give instruction. I don't do these things. But when it comes to someone to exercise my authority as the minister for now, I'll do that. So when the minister sets the time for the court to commence, which is 9 o'clock, we'll expect, therefore, you have the full complement for magistrate to go to court on time. And that business of starting court after 12 has to be something of the past. Do you understand what I'm saying? So all these things that we need to put, we have to get to a level of discipline and working for money. It doesn't matter how small it is. Yes, the complaining is good, but we have listened to the sentiments of the public and we have responded. And again, we have all our courts. We have, for the first time in the history of this country, we have 6 magistrates' court, independent courtrooms in Roseau, and all 6 will be operational. That is advancement, you see? And then we're moving further to ensure that we have a fully functional family court.
But do you have a magistrate at Portsmouth at this moment?
Yes.
Yes, one in Portsmouth.
Yes.
Seated in Portsmouth as we speak?
Yes. Okay. What you can speak to that?
Chief, you spoke about another magistrate was sworn in. Can you also tell us, because you spoke about this Morvan, you spoke about this Morvan and this Pierre, and you said the next one has been sworn in. If the person has been sworn in, then
Okay, as regards the Portsmouth magistrate, I believe the minister has adequately responded. His contract has been renewed and he will continue his sittings in Portsmouth. While he was on vacation, a magistrate was assigned every week, so a different one of us would have gone every week to ensure that things kept going in District G. But now that his contract has been renewed, then he continues as usual. Mr. John Baptist asked something.
yes, you spoke about the third magistrate because you said you spoke about Miss Pierre and Miss Morvan.
Okay, I think you're looking for a little bit. Okay, all I could say is the person has been appointed. The Public Service Commission issued the appointment this week. The appointment letter has been issued. The officer has not yet been sworn in. So I will await when the person is being sworn in so that the media can be fully advised as to who the person is. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Aaron Labs Radio. In relation to Coast Guard, please, I just wanted to get on record how many units are basically assigned to the Coast Guard that's at present. Coast Guard, how many units are assigned to the Coast Guard, please?
Just clarify what you mean by units for me, please.
The teams, Chief, how many?
How many men on Coast Guard base? Next question. Next question. Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I want to, whenever I speak, I will speak about the Coast Guard folks and my admiration for them, and not many of us will actually think of doing what they're doing. But the minister's instruction by way of policy is to ensure that we have coverage enough. So provisions been made to have full-time Coast Guard presence in enough. And the expectation was to have seen that commence in September, but there's some retrofitting that has to be done to the building because we want the guys to be based there. And we are just about to receive the technical assistance to make sure that the new boat that we have gotten can be fully functional from the US. And once that is done, we'll have a situation whereby we'll have about 3 to 4 vessels and to ensure that police can properly guard our waters. These are things that we should be concerned ourselves about, and also for the South. There are other things that I'm not permitted to mention, and at this forum. All right.
Is there any more questions? No more? Okay, if there are no more questions, I will now call on the Honourable Minister to give his closing remarks.
Well, I believe that I've said everything I needed to say. Just to say that I want to express again my gratitude to the media fraternity for always being responsive and respectful, and so the various heads of departments there. The ministry, as part of its tradition, will be having its end of the year press conference, not now, sometimes later, and we will have not all the departments, but we'll have some of the departments and to give highlights, because we want to make sure what we bring out there is not an overkill, you know. So thank you very much, and I wish all of you a happy Christmas. The ministry, as we did last year, will be having its get together where people will be given awards for the hard work, and the departments are the ones, the heads of departments and the staff are the ones to determine who is the best worker and who is the best head of department. I don't get involved, but I will get involved as a minister who deserves the minister's award. That's what I'm saying. And I will also want to put on the record that all the heads have been exceptional. And I provided the support to the minister. I'm not the easiest person to work with, but the fact is, my role is to get the work done. Not a Christmas party we had. And to ensure that the role that I've been given by the Prime Minister and our cabinet is executed to the fullest extent on behalf of the people of this country. You cannot fall on the job. If you fall on the job and you cannot get up, it doesn't make sense. And I must say, so far, people are trying, and I'm pleased to see the improvement we have seen in the police force. There's room for improvement, and we have seen that. And I'm pleased to see the tremendous improvement we have seen at the prison. I want us to put our hands together for Mr. Edmond, Jeffrey Edmond, and his staff, what they're not there today, and all the heads. And the Chief Magistrate, I believe, has been exceptional. The employees at the court have been exceptional. The folks at the registry, the DPP's office, out of 12 matters, to secure 11 convictions. When people are talking about those things, and you know, the community policing unit, and all the folks and the Coast Guard, the guys in the task force, fire state, drug squad, CID folks where I worked, and disaster, the Met offices, and just name it, and the folks at the registry of titles. When we get to a point whereby we do not have backlogs, that's exceptional. And we cannot forget the guys with the FI, you bringing all the money for us, and that's what I'm interested in. And companies, you know, and the list goes on. You know, fire, you know, and the police, I've said before. So let us continue the Aegis Chambers. We work, do a lot of work. All the folks there, I think we have the brightest attorneys in the country. Folks who have decided for less pay, well, I think they're getting more money now than the private sector. But they see they work as service to the people of this country. So thank you very much, and we'll continue to work on the behalf. Thank you. So, start up Miss Lloyd. Miss Lloyd, I wish she was trembling this morning, but she has done well. I wish you
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and do have a great weekend.
I say you